kind of person who shoots a Kimber appreciates the attention to detail we put into every firearm we make. So when you tell us you want something new, that gets our attention. You want a micro compact, optics installed. You want high capacity and higher capacity. A flat trigger, less felt recoil. American made. And lots of upgrades built in. You want it, you got it. The Kimber R7 Mako. Feed your appetite for something different.
Did you bring protection?
I left it at home. It's just a little uncomfortable.
Sounds like you've never used JM4 Tactical before. Lined with leather for your pleasure. JM4 Tactical's magnetic holsters keep your piece securely in place without the need for a belt. So when you slide it in...
Feels like there's nothing there.
Click the link to get your hands on your own holster or go to jm4tactical.com.
Now, you know you love that commercial. I love that commercial. It's a funny commercial. Anyways, so we're going to be talking and bringing on Matthew and Billy. They are owners of Armor Upfitters right here in Texas, Katy, Texas. So they make bulletproof curtains, bulletproof seats, bulletproof cars, bulletproof windows, pretty much backpacks, everything that you can imagine these guys are making. And we're fixing to bring them on right now, and they're going to tell us a little bit of how they got started and what kind of products they have in line for us everyday users. All right. Hey, how are y'all doing?
Hey, good afternoon, Chad.
Good. Y'all like my commercial?
That was
It's all good.
fun.
It's a little.
Yeah, you got my attention, you know.
Yeah. So tell us a little bit about yourself.
All right, I'll start. Billy Gibbons, I'm the primary founder here. I started this up in 2019. Great timing. You know, I actually started a company called, I started another body armor company in 2016. We blew up real quick, and, those problems happen, right? Growing problems, growing pains. I had a partner. There was 2 of us, then there was 3 of us, then there was 5 of us, and it just didn't work out. So came over here, and we started up right before defund the police. And then the COVID pandemic. So we just hit our 3-year anniversary. And the first year was okay. Last 2 years, we've just been getting beat up.
Really? Wow.
Yeah, no, we're done, man. I mean, we made it through. If you're a small business who could survive in the last 3 years with $0 government assistance, I mean, zero, nothing.
Yeah.
Here we are.
Yeah. And we talked a little bit about that the other day on the phone, and hopefully, you can change some of that and get into a better system than what you're working with.
Sure.
My interest is these curtains. I mean,
Yep.
You have bulletproof curtains, and it's. I don't want to tell the layout of my house or anything, but I've always thought the way my house is laid out, if somebody drove by, and it's not being paranoid, it's being prepared, and ever decided to shoot or ran a bullet, it's going to hit somebody in my bedroom, because I have these big windows and things like that, and it's facing the street. So I've always thought of how can I cover them windows? And then I was actually on your website the other day, and then I was on it this morning going, I got to have a set of these.
Yeah.
And I'm fixing to contact y'all and buy a pair, buy some of these curtains, and kind of talk to you about when we get off here about me purchasing them in a certain color and things like that.
Absolutely.
And you do multiple colors in these bulletproof curtains.
Yeah. So this is actually an interesting story when you brought up how many different things we do. When we started this company, my primary partner was Polaris Government and Defense, right? And what I was doing was like basically body armor style packages for little UTVs. So turning the Polaris police little cruiser Ranger into a little battle tank you can drive through a mall. Well, all the time and all the money, and it was a lot of money that I had put into that. All of a sudden, we had to defund the police, right? And then that just killed that business. It just, NYPD lost $1 billion, $1 billion with a capital B from their budget off the top.
Wow.
Yep, they went from $8 billion to $7 billion, and that's a lot of money to lose, especially when you've got air assets, you've got water, You've got 36,000 officers. I don't know how many admin, just insane. So we ended up having to move around to a lot of different categories. And because I had sold my previous company, I was subject to a non-compete. So for 2 years, I couldn't enter the shield or body armor space. And that was a pretty big restriction. So with all the madness out there, we got into everything, man. We make bulletproof skateboards. I can make you a bulletproof barbecue bib.
I was noticing the skateboard thing. I was like, who has ever come up with that idea to make a bullet? I'm going to actually show this video real quick to the viewers.
Please.
All right, here you go. Now that is really cool.
Thanks.
I mean, that is shooting it into the window. It's shooting on the window. I noticed y'all also do vehicles.
We do. So where I was kind of going with this is that with all of these products and kind of, the situation out there that's going on with COVID and the banking system, which you had discussed, it took a while to really find our place. And we've really settled in. We're focusing the vast majority of our resources. We're a small company. They're limited, right? I don't have a staff of 80 on the curtains and on bulletproof shields. Right. Okay. So while we still do everything, if you want a skateboard, brother, we'll make you a skateboard. Our R&D, which is not, and our T&E program is really focused on shields and then the curtains, and where we see ourselves moving forward.
I would love to come visit y'all at y'all's place.
Yeah.
I'm serious. Katie's probably 4 or 5 hours from here. I would love to come visit with y'all as soon as I have a little bit of time and come walk your facility and do some live streaming down there. Like I said, if y'all have not heard of these guys, you need to go to Armor Upfitters. And that is one of the, let me see here. I'm going to actually put y'all's web address in here. I think I just, hang on.
Yep. And we're rebuild of the website, so it's a little bit all over the place right now. It's been a crazy 2 years. I know we're just blessed that we were able to stay open. I know a lot of companies that didn't make it.
Yes, there is a lot of companies that did not make it. Let me see if I can get this address put in here for. I just want to make sure.
Sure, it's armor.com.
Yeah. I'm a 2-finger typer.
We can tell. Yeah, we know.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. And I'm gonna go through it. I'm gonna check my spelling to make sure it's all correct. And that's it right there. Y'all need to go and check this website out. They can literally make everything bulletproof. It's what I'm really also interested in, and as I love the shields that y'all are making that look like pictures hanging on your wall.
Yep.
Because in a home defense, and I try to tell people, in a home defense, you are the most vulnerable you'll ever be. Mm-hmm. You're asleep. It takes what's FBI statistics are 3 kicks and they're in your house. So you try to secure your door. You try to do everything you can. They'll eventually get in if they want in, but it buys you time. But I seen the video you did the other day. In fact, some people, that's how I found these. I got tagged in one of their TikTok videos, and they were like, "Check this out, Chad." So I went and looked, and I was like, I remember y'all seeing a video about a month ago or so that y'all were doing pillows.
Yeah.
Also, that y'all did bulletproof pillows, and I was like, this is so cool. And I was meaning to reach out to y'all back then. And somebody actually, if I recall, was tagging me in those videos. And I never got back to it. And then somebody tagged me. I think these are the same guys. Right. And but just being able to grab that picture off your wall and use it as armor for a shield and be able to hold it to your body, it's that changes everybody's game in a home invasion for the homeowner.
Oh yeah, well, you think about it. the stats, we all worry about, the bad guys kicking in our door at night. And that certainly happens. But far more often, it's going to be during the day when, whoever the security person around isn't there. And the people at home are going to be, fending for themselves. Now, depending upon who you're married to, like my case, you're screwed. You're just out of luck. We have pictures of our kids all over the house. My wife absolutely knows how to handle a firearm, has her own firearm, and grew up doing Shaolin Kung Fu in the middle of the mountains in China. So, yeah, you'd be in trouble.
Well, Joseph Paul says he sleeps naked. They make a pillow that is bulletproof.
Yeah.
So if you're sleeping naked, all you got to do is grab your pillow and you're ready to go.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so we do that, and the advantage that we have is that, number one, nobody else does this, right? Nobody in the world. This was just an idea of, hey, look, I was looking at a board, I was looking at a shield, I was looking at different things. I was like, I can just build pictures into this. I can make this my art. I can make it your art, whatever. Is weight, right? We can get down to the 3.1 pound per square foot level. And when you're talking about a complementary size of, AR 500 or AR 680 or whatever other steel you want to use, you can't effectively use that, right? Now, I messed up, and I apologize, Matthew. I was supposed to bring up one other shield, and it's way back in the production room. At this weight, we can put these things around your house. Let me show you this one. This shield here, which is a really good size shield, this is going to be 15 pounds when all is said and done. And at 15 pounds, you can throw this around. You can 100% use it defensively. It gives you another 13 inches of reach on a standard punch if you had to. But if you've got one of these hanging on your wall, that's whatever shape you want, your spouse, even your early teenage kids can handle these. No problem. None at all. So, they can be used to fight defensively, but if you break in, someone's got that or something that size, probably not that shape, and it definitely won't say police, and a pistol, I don't care what the pistol is, that's a formidable home defense.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Definitely. And somebody wanted to know how much weight would it be added to the vehicles if you were to do the vehicles?
So it's that same 3 pounds per square
3
foot.
pounds per square foot.
Just around there. So
Okay.
really, really light. If you drive, let's say, I've got a 2020 F-250, and I've added about 600 pounds to the total package. And it's BRC7 all the way around. So that's a fat guy.
Okay.
That's really, it's one big fat guy.
Well, somebody's wanting to know about the coating. Is the coating or inserts? Do you see the
For the vehicle or for this shield?
I guess for the backpacks
Well, we make inserts, and we do make all kinds of other little, small things around the house. And then for the more commodity stuff, for the backpack plates, and we do sell body armor plates and vests and things like that, that we just distribute. That's all, it's high quality stuff. It's all stuff we test, but that's a whole separate company. So
okay.
it's all imported stuff, but it's good stuff.
Okay.
If you want to pay $250 for a good rifle plate, it's about as much plate as you're going to get for $250. Things like that.
Yeah.
Backpack plates, they're always moving. They're like $170, and we test the shit out of those. We test them all the time.
And it doesn't, or like my son, he wears one from a different company, and I didn't realize y'all made backpack stuff. Still on your website, but I bought one, and it's a level 3A, but over 90% of shootings that are in schools are done with a handgun. It's not the big scary black AR that everybody freaks out over. So he actually has one of these, and it looks like a backpack. I would rather him have it, but it doesn't add any much weight to it. It adds a little bit of weight, but it's only a level 3A. Of course, the thicker you get, the heavier they get, and he's already got enough stuff in his backpack,
That's actually a good point, because if you've got kids hauling around books,
yes,
you don't need a backpack plate. I'm just going to tell you a plain and simple truth. I'd love to sell 10,000 backpack plates, but my kids, they're smart kids. They've got and they're walking around with a bag full of books. Guys, you don't need a backpack plate.
You use that. Use those books, things like that.
Right, but walking around with books this thick as well. Yeah. So if you got, for the littler ones or the ones that ditch their stuff at school, I carry one in my backpack, but I usually only have a laptop and, maybe some spare ammo.
Yeah.
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 So
Man, I was really excited about connecting with y'all the other day, and we had some really good conversations. You have anything coming up that's
yeah,
new?
yeah. So we do this. I mean, so right now this is the Keystone Shield, which I think we can just kind of tilt over a little bit if we're good. This is the Keystone Shield, and what's different about this shield, for anything there out in the market, shields run kind of in extremes, right? Most entry shields are going to be big shields with a window. Typically, you carry them in your trunk, right? You want, it's the kind of thing you have to go out and get. Outside of that, if you're an officer or EMS or anybody who's out there in the way of of danger, there's really not any effective, smaller yet substantial shields at this price point, especially that law enforcement agencies or whomever can buy to protect themselves at that level 3, right?
Yeah.
With the long guns. Had the folks up in Buffalo, if one person had one of these, if that security guard, the ex-cop who died, a hero, had he had one of these, he would have been in that fight.
Yeah.
One of these in a pistol against some madman with a gun, this probably would have kept him in the fight. This is the kind of thing that saves lives. So having the ability to have something in your car that you can grab, that's right there next to you, and it's a full-size shield that'll do what you need to do. Now, the great thing about this is that with electronics, because we've done a lot of work with Windows, and we work closely with a company down in South America to make our own glass, and glass is great. Stacked ballistic glass is great. The only problem is it's incredibly heavy. So
Yes.
at 3 pounds per square foot, I'm sorry, at 36, 37 pounds per square foot on some of these things, it just weighs you down. And what we focus on is usability and weight, right? Is it practical? Is it usable? Is this going to make sense? And how much does it weigh? Because you were a Marine, buddy.
Yeah.
We've all done
Nobody,
the pumps.
nobody wants to wait.
My back, my knees, my feet, they're all busted. They're all busted. So every ounce matters, it really does. And, a lot of these cops today, they're not 18-year-old kids like we were when we went into the Marine Corps. Thank God, got years of experience. But, if you're a 40-year-old guy pumping around a 40-pound shield, that's going to be the death of you, Worst case scenario, and I think I sent you guys this story. On February 22nd this year, there was a shootout here in Houston where this guy came on. I'm not sure. I don't remember what the exact scenario was to the chase. But the guy whipped out an AR pistol and started banging at these cops who just had their Glocks or SIGs, whatever. And these guys had no cover. And these guys were heroes, man. They went after him. But had they just had something that they could have grabbed that would defend against that kind of broad spectrum threat, it would have been a much different fight, in my opinion. At least that's what I thought. So that's the day I was like, we got to make something that is hard and you can use in the vehicle. So,
yeah.
And it's ready, it's ready to go to war. And the great thing about this, instead of glass, what we're going to do is, with technology, mount a camera, just a little wire over the top. Can you go see, right? Camera on the top or in the nook. And then LED screen here. So there's no reason you don't need to show your face. Right? I don't know any entry cops or high-level cops who don't want to take their shield and have it out like this, right? Everybody's going to run it like this for the most part. Right? Very few run it straight up and down. But if you can operate like this now, and we can, do whatever you need and not have to look, hey, I'd much rather watch me shooting you on TV than be ducking bullets while I'm doing it. Because that's what you're going to be doing. So we are going to bring a great deal of technology to the market. We will have Wi-Fi enabled cameras. Remember Aliens, the movie?
Mm-hmm.
And that butter bar lieutenant was sitting there watching all the screens?
Yes.
Is to be able to bring all of these cameras into one system where they can be, where it's better situational awareness. The guys in the front of the building will know what's happening in the back. We're looking to integrate all of the electronics we can into these at a weight that makes sense,
Okay.
and a cost that makes sense as well.
Okay.
Right.
Well, let me see here. How did you get involved here, Matthew?
It's a long story. I met Will when we were both teaching English in Beijing back in 2002 or three.
Probably 2002. Yeah.
And we both went our separate ways during the SARS epidemic. I came back to the United States, got into the oil and gas business. He ended up in the oil and gas business in his own way and made his way back to Houston. And we just got reconnected, and here we are.
All right.
Yeah. This isn't our first pandemic.
Right.
It was funny because I remember meeting him, typical asshole New Yorker. Said, hey, so where you're from? And I had long-term plans for China. I was going there to do a bunch of different things. I ended up at the U.S. Embassy in Beijing as a contractor and trainer, and that led to a whole bunch of stuff. But I remember when we first met, I was like, hey, man, I'm Billy. What's up? How are you? Whatever. Oh, and people would pronounce my name Will because Chinese people can't say Billy. It just sounds insane. No, it was terrible. I won't repeat it, but it's not pretty. He's like, yeah, hey, I'm Matthew. I'm from, where you from? He's like, I'm from Katy, Texas. I was like, where's that? I've never heard of it. Get out of here. And then sure enough, 10 years ago, I ended up moving to Katy, Texas, and we're neighbors. It's a great town.
Yeah, Katie's a good town.
Yeah.
Katie's a good town, definitely.
Mm-hmm.
So when I think I should be able to come down there probably at the end of June.
Okay. Well,
are y'all open to that?
Yeah. You got have perfect weather.
Oh yeah, hot.
Yeah. We're already in the 90s now.
Yeah. Well, we've been in over hundreds up here. We're in West Texas. Gotta love it.
Oh yeah, no. Actually, Matthew's originally from out there. He's a West.
Finland.
Are you? I'm sorry. No, it's not.
There's so much to do out there. So much to do. It's so
better
good
saying you were from Odessa, right?
Right.
No, I've got family out in Midland. So yeah, I do have family out in Midland and Odessa. We were going to put a store out in Midland, Odessa. I'm really glad we didn't. I did some training out there not too long ago. Out in Midland, there's a gun range between Midland and Odessa. And I had to go out there and do some training. And I was so glad we didn't put a store out there. The traffic is horrible.
Sure.
I mean, the traffic is unbearable out there. It's just as bad in Lubbock.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, and the cost of living is crazy.
Yes,
especially like this. Everything is through the roof. So, but Katie's worked out great for us as especially to raise families. This is a real cool place for it. And you can still carry a gun. We've got great ranges. We've got a great business climate. Actually, the place we're at now, and I should mention this. So we had a shop where you saw me shoot up. That shop actually kind of collapsed. There's one of our great storms came through and all the subfloors went out. And it was a little ghetto. It was cool. I mean, it was a cool hangout. We had camo knitting everywhere and a little shooting range there. But that shop pretty much collapsed. And then we ended up, there's a sort of a business incubator out in Brookshire, which is where I am now. It's called G-Tech. It's an innovation center. So it's like flexible space, grow as you want. This place out here, it's phenomenal. I mean, we're the very edge of Metro Houston, and now in a couple of weeks, I think we will be Metro Houston. It's growing that quickly, but it's been a real godsend. I think about when I was coming back from China, and I went over there single and drinking and wild, and came back married and a different guy and not drinking and just the whole thing. I was like, where am I going to raise my kids? Where are we going to go? And being originally from New York, just the prices, the culture, the education system, the taxes, the fact that you can't defend yourself, just all the, but it's tough because there's so many beautiful things up there, man. You go up to Central New York, those people are amazing. You go out to Long Island, those people are amazing. Good beaches, you've got all these things, but the government, you just can't. I can't live there. And that was on a personal basis, right? I didn't know all this was going to happen. That was on a personal basis. So we had some family who was in oil and gas. They lived in Houston, checked it out. I was like, this place is great. I love this. Of course, I didn't come in June like you are, but Yeah, I came down here, and then looking at the atmosphere and being an entrepreneur, there's no way I could do what I'm doing up in New York.
Texas is
It's just,
very business friendly.
oh man, yeah,
It is very business friendly, and that's why a lot of companies are moving here. I just, like a lot of major companies are moving here. I just hope that these companies that are moving here that are already established remember where they're moving from.
yeah, yeah,
Like California. Uh,
yeah. Don't California like, man.
yeah,
I think from what I've been reading is that you're having such a conservative flight from the Northeast and the West Coast. I think the bulk of folks coming down here are going to be pretty business friendly.
no,
You
yeah,
get the more conservative type, or like Matthew's pretty libertarian. I think we're both pretty politically aligned, man. Leave people alone. It's
yeah.
pretty,
Let them do their
alone,
business.
man. Yeah, it's and Texas goes out of its way.
Yeah.
They go out of their way to make this stuff happen. So, down here, luckily, our biggest problem right now are resources. We depleted millions of dollars over COVID because just everything got wiped out. I mean, everything
Yeah.
I had was gone and then some. I was selling ammo, right? And I had a lot, but I was selling ammo to make payroll, that kind of thing. And we ended up really just kind of having to shut down last year. But so we shut down production, the shop collapsed, kind of moved everything back for a couple of months. That's when Matthew stepped in. And we were able to, just hit this deep COVID driven dive. And here in Texas, just spring right back up and get
Yes.
back up in production and R&D. And now with social media, which is great. We have 130,000 views or what have you. That's free advertising, right? There's
It
so much
is.
you can do just, in Matthew's house with his dogs and, me up there and the talking monkey to get the message out, right? And the message is just, we're making jobs, we're making good ballistic products here. But at the end of the day, we're making things where you can keep your family safe. And that's it. That's what we care about. We sell to almost anybody. We do focus on law enforcement, but just like the right to self-defense, I think this is a part of it.
And that's one of the things, I've come across parents like this, and I've talked to them. They find these bulletproof backpacks cheaper online. That's being brought in from China or being brought in from overseas.
Yep.
And I simply ask them, do you really want to trust your child's life with a product that you bought from overseas that you don't know who made it?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
And that's a legit question.
Mhm.
Me, I'm not. I'm not going to trust my kid's life in the hands of somebody, a product that I don't know who they are. I just
Yeah.
bought it off of Amazon or bought it offline.
Mhm.
It's not happening, because when you find out their product doesn't work, it's too late.
Yeah, some things you don't look for sale price, right? You just don't. It's that old.
No.
No, I don't want to blow out all you can eat sushi. I don't want off-brand condoms.
Mm-mm.
I just want to know that it's going to work, right? Certain things you just don't look for the bargain. If you want to go that route, that's fine. We're not going to argue. We're not going to get into a bidding war, and that's why
Yeah.
everything that Armor Upfitters does, for the most part, we're alone in our segment, right? We do weird, we do weird stuff. So for us, we just take our cost, which is going up and up and up, and then we're able to price our products reasonably without being in this, how much is your level 3A soft plate? I can get it for $2 at the gun show. That's not the business we're in, right? We're
Yeah.
not
No.
merchants.
I'm not. Yeah, I'm not trusting my life with something that's cheap. And not to down anybody gun shows, but a lot of those guys, I see a lot of this product coming from overseas. They
Yep.
purchase it from overseas cheap. They take it to the gun shows. I am not putting my family, my child's life in the hands of something that, because I wanted to save a few bucks.
Right.
I'm going to put it into a reliable product that I know that it was made here in the United States, first of all, and that I trust the company. And being trusted has to be here in the United States. I'm not going to put, it's just not going to happen.
Right. Well, it was funny when I went to China. I had this long-term plan. I didn't think it would turn out to be as long-term as it turned out to be. But it sounded like Biden here. Sorry. No, I'm sorry. That would be Kamala. So it turned out to be as long as it's going to be, because it will be as long as whatever. I ended up on the floor of a lot of factories in China. I ended up doing a lot of different oil and gas business, right? This is back when China was friendly. They just got into the WTO. there was a lot happening. I had my connections through the embassy and then the U.S. Chamber of Commerce. And, the thing about China is that there are some great, really efficient factories over there run by some very cool people. And then there are just way many more just peddlers, merchants, people trying to drag their family out of poverty. And when they're doing that, they'll take any risk because it's about them getting over, them feeding their family or them doing whatever they need. So I've got a room full of Chinese stuff that I've shot up, and some of it's fantastic. The pressure, when you're talking about armor, body armor, a shield, something like that, you're looking at unidirectional polyethylene, right? It's kind of a universal, it's become a more universal type of thread. It's most of your fishing line.
Okay.
You can take that, lay it out the right way, and then press it at a certain pressure. You can get a really, really good product. And I do know of a couple of factories over there that do it, and they do it great. They're kicking 5,000 psi into a pretty good quality polyethylene. They've got a good product. It is what it is. Okay. And then you've got everybody else.
Yeah, but when you're
and old water bottles, glued together.
And when you're buying like that, you don't know if it's coming from a good factory or if it's coming from a crap factory.
Absolutely.
You really don't know. You have no idea. That's why I would rather buy and keep my money and everything right here in the U.S. And we've branded ourselves that way. Is our products are made here in the United States. They're made right here in the state of Texas. Even the back of our packaging says "Made in Texas."
Nice. The Armor Upfitters stuff, that there might be some aspects of resins or other components. Who the hell knows?
Oh yeah, I mean our magnets come from overseas.
Yeah, we're a chemical company, but our leather, like yours, we don't. You probably use full grain. We use top grain, but
See,
we use top grain, not full grain. You probably use full grain.
Yeah, we use Herman Oak, 100% grade A steer hide.
Yeah, that's gorgeous. I'm gonna have to start buying up some of your trimmings because we want all of the backs of our civilian shields. We put leather over ballistic nylon strapping, and we
could definitely work something out on the trimmings. We could definitely do, because there's a lot of trimmings that's going to waste, and I will definitely, we could get something going with the trimmings. You just, when we get off here, I'll give you a call and we'll get the measurements of what you need, and we can definitely, because
brother, this is forever. This is
because everything we use is Herman Oak. I mean, it is top of the line leather you can buy.
Nice.
And that's all we use. We used to use a Kentucky leather with our Roughnecks, which is a compatible price holster for the magnetic ones. And we ended up getting rid of that and just going straight Herman Oak across the board.
Yeah, that's, and as a business owner, that's one of those decisions where, people will tell you, especially once you get into the higher cost products, some of the things that we do, we developed our own resin. Right? We actually did 3 different lines, and it took 3 companies outside of ourselves to get it done. And what we've been able to achieve is the first multi-line resins that contain graphene. We haven't been pushing on this real hard lately because right now we don't have the resources, right? Where we have to hire a whole new complete office staff, or it's just when you're growing, how do you manage this stuff, right?
Yeah.
But the resins we use, I mean, it's true nanotech. And a lot of folks, I know, and people who are around me saying, just, use this, use that boat product, use this. Does it really need that? And we want to make the best product we can. This is life-saving. This is life or death. So
yes,
every ounce matters. Every gram matters. Every way we can make anything lighter, stronger, last longer, stay in the fight longer, I'm going to do it, and we're not a commodity company. What we do is we make the best possible stuff we can. And, the good thing is low overhead. So we don't have to kick out a shit ton of money just for operational cost. It is what it is. And Texas has a great labor pool.
Yeah. I'm going to play a quick commercial real quick. If you give me 1 second, we'll be right back.
Sure. Let's scratch my butt.
What if the moment arises when silence could save your life? Will you be prepared? Is the condition and value of your gun important to you? What if there was a holster available that provided you with a secure way to not only carry your firearm, but provide you with a silent draw and protect the finish of your firearm? Introducing the new Relic holster by JM4 Tactical. Known for quality and innovation, JM4 Tactical has developed a state-of-the-art polymer holster that will quickly become your go-to holster. With high-quality Herman oak leather, securely sewn to the interior of the molded outer bolt-on shell, your draw becomes silent and no more scratches up and down your firearm. Order your relic today at jm4tactical.com.
I love those holsters.
Work right there. Actually, it's two nice pieces of work. I love the commercial and I love the holster. I love the product.
Yeah, I love those holsters because I've never scratched my gun. My Glock's had probably 20,000 rounds down it.
Gorgeous.
And just in and out, in and out, in and out. And it's only seen the magnetics and the relics.
Mm-hmm.
And now the new one that we just launched out, the Maven, which is a new OWB holster, which is probably my favorite OWB holster now. But there's no wear and tear on any of my guns, my Glock especially, and I run it hard.
I can't say the same. So I carry a little 365 here, and she is beat up. I mean, that's just.
Hey, put the gun down. Put the gun down. They go kick us live.
Oh, sorry. That's an airsoft gun.
Yeah.
Gun.
Yeah.
Sorry.
They go kick us live.
Yeah. I know. Okay.
Yeah, maybe the analytics didn't pick it up.
I think he told me that yesterday. I was like,
yeah.
I make armor.
Yeah.
Something else. If you don't mind.
We're still connected.
So this beautiful seat cushion. See this? Hi. I can do like a home shopping network thing. So this is the Gen 1.5 of our ballistic seat cushion. Right? A lot of people don't understand this. Wow, you're not going to get shot through the back of your car. You're not going to get shot through the seat. We actually got this idea from a law enforcement officer who was worried he transported prisoners, right? People who had just gotten arrested or, situations like that. He was worried about somebody sneaking a mouse gun into his cruiser. So he asked for some old vests, and I ended up making him something very similar to this. And we thought, why don't we just put a handle on it? Now you've got a shield. You can carry it in and out of the car. You can carry it wherever. Well, this has evolved, and we've relaunched this to what's now a really, really formidable, absolutely huge level 3A personal defense shield. And the thing about it is it's super comfy. It's as comfortable as any other seat cushion out there. But you've always got something behind you that, pardon me, you have literally within hand's reach.
Yeah.
Right. So when you're driving or in your office, you've always got something that comes right out. So this has been great. We've worked with a lot of different departments on this. The same with this other shield. I'd like to thank Nassau County, New York, their Bureau of Special Operations, because they have been absolutely essential in working with us, as well as Oklahoma City Police Department, Tulsa, Oklahoma Police Department, Houston Police Department, and Texas Department of DPS. All deserve a big, warm felt thank you for helping us refine these products. So the layout on the hard shield, this is all Nassau County BSO. We've since changed this. We've added what's called S-glass, which is basically the material which you build rocket ships out of, or airplane wings. When you see that flex of a modern airplane wing, that's a product called S-glass. You can think of it as a fiberglass, but it's actually a separate class of material. With a paper thin, and I mean razor thin piece of S-glass that we make and we press here, we've added a stiffener to this entire shield. So, and this is going to be an interesting thing. We're going to be videoing this probably this weekend. That will stop like 99.9% of all back face deformation on this shield, up to 44 Magnum.
Wow.
Also lowered the handle. We've added a secondary handle here. We've added a little bit more cushion. We've added some other stuff. I think this is one of the most effective pieces we've come up with to date. Just as a concept, it just works because it's always there. Can you find little things to complain about? Oh, what about your seatbelt? Well, you have to take off your seatbelt. Oh, it's not rifle rated. Well, get a rifle rated. There's somebody always complaining about something.
Yeah, and you've got to work around the product sometimes. I would rather have that and have to take off my seatbelt and be able to grab it. I'm good. I'm good with that, but at least I have it.
Well, if you've done any vehicle training, the first thing you're going to do is either have your seatbelt off going into the situation.
Yeah.
which is a law enforcement situation, or you've already practiced what you have to do to get out of the vehicle for whatever scenario, right?
Yeah.
If I'm going to draw and I've got half a second, I'm going to run my thumb down, get it out, and go.
Get it out and go.
Yeah, and that's what we're going to do. It's the same with this, but it buys you that time. Again, you see, the Parkland shooter, that cop who sat out in front of that school while kids are dying. Number one, he should have gone in. I don't care. You're a cop. Go. Number two, what if he just had something like this? This plus his body armor, fighting chance. Now, the big thing is, and the calls we're getting for these are victims of road rage. Someone's waving a gun at me on the road. Someone's waving a gun at me on the road. If you're in a high adrenaline situation, seatbelt or not, you grab this and pull it out that way. You've just covered your passenger window. I don't know if you can see that.
And that's the thing is that woman was just arrested for shooting that 17-year-old kid on that road rage incident. And I don't have the story in front of me or anything, but that was a 17-year-old child shot by an irresponsible adult with a gun.
Yeah.
And I'm glad they arrested her, but it's to the point, that would come in handy.
Oh,
I mean, that comes in handy because we have road rage incidences that happen all the time.
Every day. Every single day in this country, somebody's getting shot during the road rage incident. The step one, and we're seeing all political sides of the spectrum kind of embrace the I need to carry a gun, right?
Yes.
Number one purchasers of handguns right now are liberal leaning people, right? Good. God bless, right? Everybody's got the right. Everybody should have the right. Be responsible, get it done. The next part of that, you've got the outbound rounds. What are you doing to stop the inbound rounds? And, while we focus on police, everybody's got that right to defend themselves. So that's why we look at things like skateboards for kids. We look at things like this. If I was an Uber driver, anything where I'm on the road for any amount of time, it's $800.
It's worth your life. It's worth purchasing it for your life. It's just the hands down. It's just one of those things. Mm-hmm. It's like I said, it's not being paranoid. It's being prepared for, and hope. Hopefully, I go through my entire life without drawing my gun. Nobody wants to do that. No responsible, right-minded person wants to draw their gun. Nobody in their right mind wants to use one of those shields. But it's necessary to have in case you do. Because if I have to use a shield, I'm having to use my gun.
Yeah. Well, because I was in New York last summer. So we work a lot with the departments there, obviously. And we've actually got a store in New York, in Manhattan, West Side Rifle and Pistol Club, where you can go and you can buy both the gear we make and then the other gear we distribute. I was walking through somewhere in the West Village. It was not late. It was like 7 o'clock maybe. And one of these dirt bike crews came up and took over the street. And so you got the kids on the quads and you got the kids racing around. And I wasn't even thinking. I was wearing a Thin Blue Line t-shirt, right? It was, some Texas fundraiser. It was a Thin Blue Line t-shirt. And the kid stopped and he's mad dogging me. I don't have anything, right? A pocket knife's a felon in New York. I had my daughter's skateboard, which I had been showing folks around. And it's got a big 45 flower right in the middle of it, which I had left right where it was, but reglassed over. And I'd been walking around with it for a couple of days, right? It was a sales tool. It's, hey, you guys want to carry these skateboards? Sure, after walking around with it for a day, I was able to kind of swing it around and just make it as like a big forearm guard. And this kid looked at me and he looked at that and he looked at me knowing I'm serious. Like, I'm not going to run away from a dirt bike. What am I going to do? Like, all right, we're here. If we got to fight, well, here we are.
Yeah.
And he revved his engine and he ended up taking off. I probably looked out of my mind. Like, here's this, chubby fat white guy who's about to, fight me with his skateboard. Wait, with a bullet in it. So, even in the places where you can't defend yourself, if you're up in Boston, if you're in New York, if you're in Philly, if you're in any major city, you're out of luck. I mean, not any major city, but, Northeast, you're just out of luck. If having a gun in my car means 2 years minimum, whatever, a lot of people aren't going to take that chance, right? And I would never recommend anybody break the law. This is 100% legal in every state, right? If you're a felon, we're not going to sell it to you. But this is, you're a housewife. Your wife is a housewife. Your wife is a school teacher. Your wife works anywhere. It's legal everywhere. You know, I've flown them. I fly with these,
Yeah.
and I always make a point to bring one on the airplane. And you can literally fly on an airplane with this shield.
Wow.
Yeah. So
I mean, I fly with my backpack all the time. I mean, my backpack's, armored. So
yeah.
yeah, you can fly with that stuff. Just can't take the pew-pews along with it. Well, you can in your checked luggage.
Right.
And we do a lot of reviews, and I've flown with my firearm a lot in the past, but it's fairly simple to fly with it,
Sure.
and it's easy to just take that on board.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
what
I've done that as well, but the real issues are, what if you live in Connecticut? Or what if you're not even a gun person? If you are once you train with this a little bit, just the way I'm sure you recommend people do their draws, they do their dry fires. Responsible training is responsible training, even if you only do it, every so often. It's just like that. It's a tool. It's another tool to keep yourself and your family friendly. And that's all we're about. I'm not looking to do this so I can, get a Ferrari. It's not, Brazilian hookers and blow. I'm a married middle-aged guy,
Now you want that Ferrari sitting in your driveway.
I don't, man. I don't. I have a badass F-250. I'm all set.
That's what I drive, an F-250. And I've always wanted a Lamborghini. I'm a fat guy, and I don't fit in those little cars. I went and drove one at a track one time, and I was like, "There's no way."
Yeah.
I hate this thing. I hate this thing. I went and drove it, a McLaren, and a Porsche 911.
Like racetrack day.
Yeah, and I hated it.
Really?
I was
I
like,
had a great time.
I couldn't drive the car like that. Like my wife's car, she owns a very small car, and we had to drive it to Houston. And by the time I would have to stop, by the time I stopped halfway to Houston, I was getting out looking like a gimp, like there was something wrong with me. I'm like walking around, I'm like, okay, I'm 240 pounds. I'm too fat to be fitting in this car. I will never do this again. And then I got to Houston. I'm like, I'm flying home.
Again, tactical awareness, though, situational awareness. Why drive something that's going to draw eyes to you?
Yeah, exactly.
I do not want that. My wife drives a minivan. It's armored, and you'd never blink, right? Minivans are everywhere. We're not in this to get that, right? Honestly, my drive for success, and I'm ambitious, man. I had the whole world telling me to quit last summer, right? And I'm jarhead. I'm too dumb. Too quit. No, man, we can get this done. This is the right idea. I want land, and I want my kids' educations. I want my kids to have to worry about it. My kids get into Rice University, which, or wherever they want. Those are big checks to cut.
They are. They're very. I've got one that's coming up. He's in 7th grade right now. And he's wanting to go to college. He's wanting to do all this, and those are really big checks, and those are really, when I started tactical, it's the same thing. And I didn't start tactical to make money, millions of dollars. I started tactical to create jobs. I started JM4 Tactical to give a quality product to the American people, and to sell a quality product. And our product and our quality has nothing but gone up ever since we started. I mean, we've got better and better at things, and even better, and so the quality's got better. And then we've branched out and we started doing stuff like coffee, and we've got so much more on our plate that we're fixing to launch out here pretty soon. But it's the same thing. I mean, I didn't sell tactical. We get emails all the time, and we've had offers. People come in and try to buy the company from us, and we won't sell it. We have not sold it.
Right.
They tried to buy it from us our first year in business, and then they tried to buy it from us our second year, and we turned them down. We weren't interested. We've had our ups and downs, so I feel your pain.
Yeah.
But we've held on. I go to the store, buy me a box of crowns, and sit at home and eat and think.
But you got creators out there, right? I mean, I'm a half-assed artist creator. Like, I'm not, I'm a weird guy for being a Marine, in this industry, tough guy, ran around the world, blah, blah, blah. And then also knowing, like my stitching and my color palettes and my fabrics, and, having an affinity for classical music. My kids play the cello kind of stuff. I'm all over the place. But part of me really is, as an artist, like this thing, the shield that's right here, didn't exist prior to February 22nd. I made that with my hands. That's 100% handmade. Will every one of them be like that? No. I'm going to take the ones that the law enforcement officers I respect say, okay, make this, change that, change this, change that. When it's perfect, we go out, we build molds, and we still build them by hand. Just a whole lot faster than this one.
And that's, and that's what it's about. It's getting feedback from your customers, making your products better, and creating jobs.
Yeah.
A lot of people don't realize the hours that we work as business owners.
Wow.
My gosh, I mean, it's a nonstop thing.
Mm-hmm. In the triple digits every week.
I mean,
over 100 hours every week.
And then some of the BS we have to put up with, along with it. I did a video the other day, and oh my God, I ended up having to take it down because I made people's heads explode on TikTok. And it was like, man, I don't even have time for all this crap. I mean, I made their heads explode. And all I did was make some comment, and people went crazy over it. And it wasn't our side of the fence that went crazy because I'm really in the middle. It was the other side. And I was like, I don't even have time to deal with all this. Yeah. So I ended up taking it down because I don't have time to deal with it.
We get flack for some of the stuff we do. And I've had people come at me, oh, well, all armor should be illegal. Why? I can't.
Why?
You can't hurt anybody with this,
Nope.
Well, only the bad people are going to have it. Well, yeah, if you make it illegal, only the bad people are going to have it. The bad people are going to get it. We're very particular about who we sell to. We treat these things, not quite like gun sales, but we want to know who we're talking to. If it's not institutional, then you're going to talk to me personally on the phone. And you don't like that? Sorry, man, take a walk, pal. I don't know who you are. I don't.
And we do training, training the same way. We have to watch who we train, who we work with. And I think there's only been one person in the history that we've worked here that we denied training to. I didn't feel comfortable. There was way too much that led up to that just didn't seem right. And I ended up not training. We ended up just, listen, just go. We're going to refund your money. Bye.
Thanks,
type of deal.
We're just going to part here.
Yeah. I just didn't feel comfortable because there was something that wasn't right with it.
Mm-hmm.
And you as a business owner, I mean, that business is your baby.
Oh yeah.
I mean, that's the same thing here. Is this business is my baby, and I'm going to protect it, and I'm going to try to do our best to protect our customers, and I'm going to protect our business, and I'm going to make sure that we don't let anybody attack it or use it for ill will.
Yeah. Well, this project, it supports my family of 5.
Yeah.
It's responsible for a huge portion of Matthew's family. We're both parents here in town.
Yeah.
And we're losing the value culture war to the extremes.
And it's
middle. And I hate to say it, if you don't have a voice and some resources, you can't affect much change.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's the same thing here. I mean, we have a lot of employees and a lot of people that depend on the decisions we make, and they depend on us to be able to go home and turn on their lights and feed their family.
Right.
And it's the same thing with y'all. And a lot of people out there don't understand that's a stress on business owners.
Oh man.
That is a huge stress because you have people that are dependent on you outside of your family.
Mm-hmm.
And then you have, and to make these right decisions, to make sure that your company keeps going and make sure they've got a good job, because our employees they love working for us. They don't want to work anywhere else. We keep our employees, but it's all based on the decisions that me and my wife make. And that comes with a stress. I mean, there's been times, where of course we conserve money, we put money up, things like that. I mean, just like that we went out there and our employees were getting paid and we weren't.
Oh yeah.
And people don't understand that.
Mm-hmm.
They don't understand the business. Could we have laid some people off and got paid? Yeah. Why would we do that? Instead we chose, we're not getting a paycheck for a little while. We're our bills are paid. We've got a little bit of savings. We're not getting a paycheck for a while. We're going to continue to pay our employees and till things get better. And we've done that in the past. And that was when we were first starting up. It was like right when we were, first, like I think 1.5, 2 years, maybe 3 years into business, we had our ups and downs. We were like a roller coaster.
Yep.
But while not down, we quit paying ourselves.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And
how long have you guys been open?
6 years.
Nice. Okay, good. That's
We just hit our 6th year in March.
good. Good. So you had a good foundation going into this mess, and then people had their PPP money.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, nice. Hey, do you see a uptick in sales around tax refund time?
No.
Okay, not that crowd, huh?
No, did y'all?
No.
A lot of businesses did not see that because a lot of people got their money beforehand.
Right.
Remember that $100 check they were giving out or whatever? So there was a lot of people didn't get their tax refunds, or they got a little bit back and not as much as they normally do. So no, during tax season, we did not see an increase at all. But during COVID, it was crazy. It was crazy busy. We were crazy busy during
Right.
COVID. But as for tax season, and I think everything's going to go back to normal in about September. It's what a lot of people think, or a lot of the businesses and people we listen to. It should be back to normal in September.
Right.
But,
Well,
right.
I mean, if you want to talk politics and economics, boy, you got two guys here who love to do it. I tell you, knowing what I know and having the depth of work I have in Asia, Shanghai is still shut down. Beijing, there are student protests. When was the last time that happened? Right.
Oh, I know.
What happened when that happened?
Yeah, I was fixing to say what happened when last time they had student protests over there.
And what's wild, it's funny that you were introduced to us on TikTok, and a bunch of folks have said, hey, what are you doing reaching out? Why are you on TikTok? It's Chinese owned. It's Chinese owned. The only place I see these China videos is on TikTok. I don't see them on the other socials.
Yeah.
Which is interesting. If you put in Shanghai lockdown right now, you'll see hundreds of videos of people getting welded in their apartments. And that's coming from Chinese TikToks. So, at the end of the day, I don't trust any of the social media. I just don't. There's so much garbage out there. And
no.
The new Ministry of Truth thing is phenomenal. That's whoever would have imagined we'd have a Ministry of Truth. But here we are.
Yeah.
Now, I think we've got, once Title 42 goes down here in South Texas, we're about to get hammered on the border.
Yeah.
And hammered. And we do a lot of work down there. Nobody's talking about the North Koreans coming over the border, right? How about all the Pakis? How about all the, there's just tons of different nationalities that may be coming here for a better life, maybe not. But they're coming in, they're getting processed, and they're getting put on a bus and cut loose.
Yeah, we need to be processing. We need to be checking these people because all it takes is one to get through. One. Yeah. That's all it takes. One.
I was on site 9/11, and without going into who did it or what happened, I tell you, I was in the larger complex of the World Trade Center, and man, that was a war on home country. I saw my city at war. And we got our asses kicked that day. It was nuts. Now, who was behind it and all that other stuff, who knows? But, the idea of a country without borders is just, to me, it's insanity.
Every country has borders.
But they're supposed to. I think it's kind of what defines a country.
Yeah,
But, who knows? Who knows? And politically, again, I am fairly center of the road, but very small government.
Yeah.
Small. This succession of leaders we're facing, who knows what's going to happen? We just don't know.
Well, brother, I'm fixing to get off here. Joseph, Paul.
I gotta
yeah, I'm going to answer this. Joseph, Paul, I will find out. Maybe the email got lost. I'll find out and get them to get back and respond to you.
Sure.
As for you, can I call you as soon as we get off this?
Yeah, not a problem.
Okay. Well, this is going to be posted pretty much everywhere. It'll be posted on YouTube tomorrow. Cool. But it's going to be on our social media pages. It's going to be on Apple, Spotify, Anchor, all that. Nice. On the voice part. But I really appreciate y'all. Y'all make sure y'all check out these guys over at Armor Upfitters. Let me show that one more time. They have some really cool stuff, and I definitely need to talk to you here in a minute about them curtains.
Yeah, we'll take care of it.
Because I'm really interested in these curtains, I'm like...
and you pick the outside. You show me pictures of your house, and that's what I'm saying. I actually don't mind interior design. I don't mind nice fabrics, I've got more sewing machines than the average man. It's just what it is.
I need to talk to you about that pieces of leather anyways. That scrap leather. Yeah,
we'll get it on. We'll do a bunch of business. And anybody needs to get in touch with us, please just use the website, Billy at ArmorUpfitters.com. Pretty easy. We're here, man. We're running 100-hour weeks, just grinding it out, making it happen.
Well, I appreciate you, my friend, and I'll give you a call here in shortly.
You got it. Semper Fi,
All right.
brother. Matthew, shut up.
Hey, thank you, Matthew.
Yeah, no problem. Thanks.
Bye.